Hennessy on my lips. Take a little sip, privacy on the door. I'ma make this shit grip.
A rich nigga, 8-figure, that's my type.
That's my type, nigga, that's my type.
8-inch big, ooh, that's good pipe.
That bitch, I'ma ride a dick all night.
A rich nigga, 8-figure, that's my type.
That's my type, nigga, that's my type.
8-inch big, ooh, that's good pipe. That's my type, bigger, that's my type. Wrist, new whip, right around dipped.
Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. I am Eboney Michelle. Today I'm here to show you how to make a beginner-friendly lace closure wig unit. I'm just going to put the dome cap on this mannequin head. Sometimes it gives me some trouble by putting it on. You see, I use my knee most of the time. That's just something I do to try to get it on faster and easier for me. What I'm doing here, I'm just trying to position the wig cap the way I like it on the dome head. It's a certain way that I like to line my wigs, my mesh caps up with. I like to at least line one of the lines up, as you can see on the back of the dome cap. That's what I'm trying to line it up to. In the front, I like to do the same thing, at least to one of the lines in the front. That lets me know where to lay my closure at, as you will see later in the video. What I'm doing now is I'm looking for my developer. I like to use the Kaleidocolors. I think that's what it's called, the blue bleach, to mix my closures with. I use 30 developer only because it lifts slow and I can manage it more. Right here, what I'm doing, I'm going to pour just a little bit in the cup. At the moment, I could not find my measuring and my mixing bowl. I don't know where it was trying to record this video, but yeah. I had to use what I had at the moment. What I'm going to do here with this 30 developer is I'm going to only pour a dime size amount in the cup. I like to make the consistency like a very toothpaste thick consistency, so it do not run through the closure, and it can only just bleach the knots, the part that I needed to bleach. And as you see here, I'm just mixing it up to show you how thick I like this consistency to be. Pouring a little bit more developer in it. Probably didn't need that much, but yeah. I'm mixing it up really good. Mix it. Mix it until you get the consistency that you will like it. And yeah, like I said, it was a little bit too much developer for my liking, but I didn't have any more bleach at the moment, so I'm going to stick with what I had and I'm going to work with it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to place the closure, just lay it on top of the wig cap. Don't know why I'm doing this part, but I always do this for some reason. You don't have to do that part, very optional. You also don't have to put the wig cap on the mannequin head at the moment, because you don't want the bleach to be on that cap. But that's just a preference that I like to do, so I can see where the knot's been bleached at, and I can see where they're lifting at, because it has a black base on the bottom of it versus looking at it bleached from that tan dome head. And here I'm just going to spread, but I'm not pressing down in the closure. I'm just lightly spreading that bleach all over. I'm not going to say all over, but definitely in the front of that closure. I usually don't bleach the whole frontal or closure that much, because you don't want it to be, you just want that front to be very bleached. The rest you can fix with makeup or, what they call it, tint. I'm sorry, tint. I knew that. But yeah, but like you see, I'm very lightly spreading. I'm trying to use all that's in the cup, because I really didn't have no more to use, so just trying to use whatever I had left. But yeah, after this, I always set a timer. I try to set my timer to 5 minutes. 5 minutes is not necessary, but I always do 5 minutes so I can always check my progress to see how much it has lifted, whether I need to wash it out quicker, faster, or I need to, leave it down a little bit longer. Some people leave it longer because different hair companies and different hair bleaches at different times. But like I said, I use a 30 developer, so I like to watch my process happen, if you know what I mean. Now that the 5 minutes is up, I'm going to be washing out the closure. I usually don't like to wash the whole closure out. I usually just like to wash the part that I put the bleach on, but clearly the closure got into the sink to wash, so yeah, it's going to be washed. I like to use the Shimmer Lights shampoo just to get all the bleach out of the closure. And also, I'm not sure if you ever noticed, if you ever bleached your closure, it has like a brassiness to it. Yeah, that definitely takes it out. Sometimes I let it sit there for like 5 minutes just to, soak all that brassiness up out of it. Then I wash it out. I also use conditioner as well, you would see. I use Bella Curls. Bella Curls is love. When I say Bella Curls is love, it is love. That's the leave-in conditioner. I don't leave it in. As you can see, I always wash it out. But I always like to wash my hair out with some type of conditioner after I use shampoo. But usually when I'm using washing bundles, I do not use shampoo. Shampoo will strip your bundles to the devil. So as you see now, I'm going to be placing the closure on the cap just to see where I'm going to try to lay it at. I'm also looking at the coloring of the closure to see, do I have to make any corrections to it. You see I'm pulling that wig cap off again just to pull it off so I can spray some tinting spray on it. I don't know how I didn't know what I was talking about earlier, but yeah. I'm going to be using Taylor Crown's tinting spray. That's in the caramel, the color of, I think it's medium. But yeah, you can see that closure is tinting as I am spraying it. That stuff is holy gal. That's all I'm saying. It is to die for. I love that tinting spray. Until I find a different tinting spray that I love, this is going to be my go-to. She has 3 or 4 different sets in different colors. Go check her out, y'all. That tinting spray is love. As you can see, I'm pumping whatever I had left out in it. So to make it dry a little bit quicker, I'm going to be using my blow dryer just to dry it faster, because I'm not saying I'm in a rush to making this wig, but I don't want to make this video mad long, and I do want to show you how it dries, with the color on it. So yeah, so we're drying and drying. It usually don't take long to dry your closures. I don't like to put the heat too close to the closures either, because you do have to understand that it's fabric and it is lace. So too much heat, I would think, would burn it, just as anything else. So you always do remember to be very gentle with your lace as well. So what I'm doing, I'm just checking it. Going to show you what it looked like against my skin. As you can see, it blends pretty well for me, and I'm okay with that. So I'm going to move on to the next step. I'm going to be putting that wig cap back on the mannequin head once again. Hopefully it do not give me as much problems as it did the first time, but we will see. Like I said, I'm going to line that wig cap up. I don't know if you can see the lines in the front of the wig cap, but at least try to line one of those lines up in front of the wig cap to the mannequin head lines in it, so that I can try to put the closure directly in the middle. What I'm doing here is, everyone has a neck, so everyone's neck is not short. I'm pretty sure everybody has a pretty good length neck, so a mannequin head usually has a little neck on it as well, so it mimics your head. So what I try to do is I try to bring down that neck area just a little bit with the T-pins. Here is what I'm going to be doing now. I'm just trying to position that closure to make it right in the middle, smack dead in the middle. I'm going to be using T-pins. You can get that from your local beauty supply store. If I'm not mistaken, they're probably about $1.99. You get like 6 or 9 in the pack. If not, you can order them off Amazon. I'm pretty sure Amazon has them. Lots of them in the pack. You know how Amazon does. They'll sell you bulk for anything, but yeah. So I'm just trying to fix that part in the back. Don't know what's going on. To tell you the truth, this part always gives me the most trouble, trying to take those T-pins out and position it the way I need to. Sometimes once those T-pins are in, they are in, baby. It's no coming back from those things. As you can see, I am working, trying to get it out. Trying. Twisting, haha, finally got it. To the front you go. Alright, here we go. What I usually do, y'all, I usually have thread lined up. I usually have like 10 threads lined up already, ready to go. I'll wrap that closure up in a little ball, or I braid it up, and I also pin it up to where as though it's not in my way when I'm sewing. Yes, I'll be moving it out the way because, you know, if it's hair, it's going to fall down. It's going to move around, you know, when you're moving. No hair is secure all the time unless you're using a lot of holding spray. In this case, I'm not going to be using holding spray at all for this. I'm going to zoom in real close for you so you can see how I place my needle inside of the closure. What I do here is a thick little piece on the closure that's darker and it has a thicker band. I'm going to take that piece and I'm going to make that needle go through there, and I'm going to wrap my first piece around that needle. As you can see, slowly I'm doing whoop, whoop, and then you pull. I like to loop around my needles. The reason why I do that method is so that first of all, my stitching is very tight. You know, what's coming loose from a tie basically. So I like to pull it very tight, as you can see. As you can see, I'm pulling, pull. And also I'm going to do the same thing once again when I go to the second stitch as well. Wrap, wrap, pull. And then from there you can just go ahead and start sewing your regular method. What I like to do is I do the in-between method, to where as though I make like a little hoop and I put my needle in between and pull, as you can see in the video. I do that so that my stitching will not go anywhere and they are very close together. As you can see. Here's a little trick I do. On each side of the closure, I don't just go around the closure. I like to cut off on each side and also the back. So for instance, I do one side and then I'll cut the thread. Then I'll move to the next side and I'll cut the thread. Then I'll go to the back and then I'll cut the thread. I like to do the back part only because, you know, sometimes it can get a little lumpy. So with the back part, you can always spread it out and pull back. To where as though you don't have to do the whole closure over, but your closure still be laying flat with that method as well. I will do a video later on in my channel to show you that method I'm talking about, just in case you ever run into that problem. But like I said, I'm going to the other side and I'm going to sew that side as well. If you paid attention to when I cut the thread, you will see that I did tie that thread a couple times. I'll probably tie like 4 or 5 times just to be on the safe side with these closures, because you don't want them to come apart. Also with frontals as well, it's the same method. You always want everything to be tight and you always want everything to lay flat. So I try to tie a knot every time I do cut a piece of thread so that it stays. You know, sometimes things have a habit of coming apart and we are human, so just so it won't make that mistake, I do try to tie a couple of times to make it, you know, very tight. And now you see that I'm in the back of that closure. Like I said, luckily I didn't have any lumps or bumps, so I can just go ahead and I can just sew regular straight over. Now that that closure is done, let's admire it for one. Do you see those knots bleaching? Do you see the coloring of that closure? Yeah, I did that. So what I'm going to do next is we're going to be moving next to the bundles, on how you place your bundles. What I do is I always use, not always, because I do have chalk as well. At the moment I was going to be using this a white eyeliner from the hair store, my local beauty supply store, only $1. I always use 2 fingers for measuring my tracks. I always use 2 fingers for my spacing, you know, to be correct. But yeah, I use 2 fingers for my spacing, so it gives me a guide of how far I want my bundles to lay. I don't want them to lay too far apart, and I don't want them to lay too close. That will cause you to have to use more hair, you know, and usually you don't need 4 bundles to make a wig unless you want it, you know, really, really thick, or you use long-lived bundles. But yeah, I use an X there to let me know not to mark on that band. That is the band I use to, that is where I put the placement of your elastic band. That's why I tell all my customers to put that band at to make your wig just a little bit tighter, but we'll get into that later on another video. As you see here, that is a Michelle canvas tag. No, I'm just playing. I just put my tag on there. But yeah, these are definitely Michelle Hair Collection bundles that I'm going to be using today. And here's a little tip that I do when I'm sewing my bundles as well. My first 2 bundles, or however many bundles I use, my last bundle is always the bundle that I usually single. In this video, I'm not sure if I did single it, but I will be looking and see. But yeah, I usually single my last bundle when I get to the top, just to make the wig lay very, very flat and flawless. Not saying that if you use 2 bundles, or you know, you double your widths on top of your wig, it won't be flat and flawless. But when you single it does give you a better flawless look. So yeah. Remember I told you I put like a hole? Try to tell you the method how I use the sewing. You see when I put my hand through there? Yeah, I'll try to show you what I was doing. But I see that didn't work, but yeah. I'm just going from side to side on each side of the wig cap. Just sewing. And then when I get to the side, I do flip my tracks. And when I do flip my tracks, I'm going to show you how I do flip them. Hold on 1 second as I get there. What I also do, as you see me, very importantly, I am wrapping. And as you can see, everything is tight. And everything is flat. So what I usually do is I usually try to stitch up. When I stitch up, you can sew up like almost like a ladder. And that ladder is always going to like give you a flip over method, to where so you can just flip that hair over and just sew down and go. But I always suggest when you flip your hair, you always sew that end down that you flipped very tightly and very flat. That is very important if you're going to be doing the flip over method instead of cutting your tracks. You want to make sure that when you flip, your hair is very flat when you do flip. That's going to make your wig cap lay very flat and very flawless as well. You're going to hear me saying very flat and very flawless a lot, because that's how I always like to see my units to look very flat, realistic, and flawless. Like you see, I can, as I said, that white line gives you a guideline to where so you need to be placing your tracks at, so that your tracks are not too far apart or they're not too close together. As you can see, I'm getting very close to adding the second bundle. So when adding the second bundle, I'm going to sew very close to the first bundle, so it looks like the first bundle. And when you're doing that, you're going to make sure that you wrap very tightly and you sew down very tightly as well, so that your bundle will not come loose and it will look very blended. I'm just going to speed the video up a little bit until I get to the top of the front of the unit. Now I'm getting to the top with the last track. This is very important when you're making a unit, especially for me. I do not sew my last piece of track into the closure. Only because, wait a minute, let me repeat that again. I do not sew my last track onto my closure or my frontal, only because when the closure or frontal wears out, you want to replace that. And when you're sewing that last track onto that closure or that frontal, when you take off that closure or that frontal, guess what else is going to come off with it? The tracks. So do not sew your last track onto your closure or your frontal. That is the tip that I use. Some people do, some people don't. But if you watch my channel, you will see that I do not do that. Now that I'm done with the unit, first of all, let me say yes, that I'm done with the unit. And as you can see, don't do what I do, y'all. I like to leave those pins in that mannequin head. That's a bad habit that I did. I hate that habit, but it's a habit I have to break. I have to break that habit. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to style it, make that part the way I want it to be parted. And I'm basically going to come back on camera and I'm going to show you after the closure is dry. I'm just going to come back and show you the curling method that I use. I got this real cute curling method from my girl Erica J. Hair by Erica J. I love Erica J. Erica J literally, I'm not going to say taught me everything I know, but she taught me a lot. But yeah, I cannot explain how to do these curls. I'm not going to say how many times I watched her do these curls to try to get these curls down pat. I still have a lot more practice to do, but yeah, I even went and bought the flat iron that she had. That's how obsessed I was with getting these curls. But yeah, as you can see, I'm just curling, and what I'm just doing some messy big barrel curls. Nothing too fancy. I don't want the curls to be tight. I want the curls to be very loose and bouncy but flowy at the same time. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. As you can see there, I'm gonna be recurling that one. I don't know why, it was just getting on my nerves. So I recurled it, pinned it up. As you can see now, I am done curling, and I wanted to style it on camera, but I don't do a great job with styling on camera that much. So I'm trying to comb some of the curls out, recurling some of the parts. But yeah, the finished look, boom. I would like to thank everyone that watched and follow along as I created my first YouTube video. Y'all, I'm so proud of myself. Make sure y'all comment, like, and subscribe to my channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you for watching. It's Eboney Michelle. Mwah. bye.